See you later, mate. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to be carrying on with the Mark 4 Golf. Nearly fell over then. We're going to be carrying on with the Mark 4 Golf. If you'd watched the last video, you'd see that we took the engine out of the Audi TT. What we did at the end of the video, we just got it into position. Reason why we've put the engine into position is because the plan, for those of you that don't know, we're going to be relocating all of this wiring, so nothing's going to be on show either side. I'll put a picture up of what hopefully it's going to look like. So all of this needs to go. Now the ECU normally sits up here. Again, it's the same on the Audi TT, it sits up there. So what we're going to do is we're going to relocate the ECU into the car, sort of down there behind the glove box. We're going to use, this is where the pollen filter goes, we're going to take that out. We're going to use this to feed the wires through there. They're going to run along, can't really see it, but through there's a hole there, run down the chassis on there, and the same here. We're going to feed the wires through there, and as they come through there, we're going to either run some of it along the side here, or we're going to cut a slightly bigger hole there, feed the wiring through here. It's going to come out here and go to exactly where it needs to go to. So what I've got left to do at the moment is I've just taken this loom off of the Audi TT. So I need to get that into position onto the Mark 4. Get it all plugged in just so I know exactly what goes to where. Then I can take that off. Then we're in a position to pull this loom back through to the car. We can strip it back, expose the wires, and then we can start seeing exactly what does what and where it goes to. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get this into position now, get it all marked up. Some of it has been marked up from when I took it off the Audi, but some of it hasn't. I need to make sure it all connects up to where it goes to. There are a few connectors that are different. So this is one of the wiring looms. This here goes onto the DSG gearbox. So what we need to do is we need to delete that wiring. So you've got the live feed, it's fused, 20 amp fuse that goes to there. Then that goes to that plug. Now you've got some, I think it's canvas wiring that goes to the white plug, which is there. So what I'm going to do is cut them off and blank them off. And then you've got two ground cables that need to be cut. So I'm going to get that done. And once that's done, I'll come back in and show you guys what I'm going to be up to next. Right guys, so just a little progress update. What I've done is I put one side of the ECU harness into position. The old bracket where the ECU used to sit in the car used to sit there. But on the Audi TTs, they sit slightly over. Luckily, I've got thread in there I can put the nut onto. There's also a bracket behind it that it slots into, so it holds it into position, but there's not one there. So I need to, when I get to the stage of welding, need to weld one in there just so it holds it into position. As you see, it's a little bit wobbly. The reason for doing that is because obviously we're using the TT loom. So if we use the standard bracket there, this side of the loom's going to be too long. So instead of altering that side too much, we're going to settle for putting it in position there. As you can see, what I started doing is I run the first set of cables that goes to the MAF sensor. So I've run it through this hole, run it along there. I've just got cable ties in there temporarily holding it into position. It's going to run down through here. It's going to tuck in around the engine bay into there somewhere, and then go onto that. I just need to work out how long I need to have that, and then I can solder them wires together. Now, what I've done, I'll just show you guys. what I've done in regards to the wires is I've staggered the cuts so it's not all bunched up in one position. So what I've done is I've used some heat shrink solder tubing, and then I've put some electrical tape around it just for that extra protection. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to route this to where I think it's going to go to, then I can get that connected up. I'm going to get the MAF sensor and the airbox, just put that into position, leave it a sort of tiny little bit longer. We're going to need to get some of this heat resistant conduit, but that's going to be at a later date. Obviously I'm not going to worry about that yet. So let me get that into position and I'll come back and show you where we're at. And each individual loom, what I'm doing is I'm taping it together so I know exactly what set of wires go to what plug. Right, so that one is now fully run. So it's going to run it along down there. And what I'm going to do, I've just got that in place just to protect it from that edge. What I'll do is I'll put a clip in there that'll hold all of the wires that come down, go under there. So it's going to look something like this. It's going to run, obviously I need to tie it in, it's going to tuck in under there somewhere, run along. And it can either clip into there. If I want to move the MAF sensor closer to there, I can do. So I'm happy with that. First one of many done. Now, with the loom that come off the engine, I obviously need to alter it because this is the original gearbox that come off of the TT. It's a DSG box. We're not going to be running DSG. We're going to be running the manual gearbox. There was an extra plug to connect into the DSG, but we don't have that in this car. So what I've done is obviously disconnected that wiring loom, which is this one. Used to connect into there, but we're going to do away with this. Now we've got let's go to here. This is the new gearbox. Now the plan is we can get a conversion plate which gets rid of the transfer box, so the plate bolts onto where that's bolted there, and you can get a new, mine's gone blank, drive shaft cup that goes into there. We've got a reverse switch on there, which it didn't have on that because it was built into the loom. So here, what we have here, I had an old loom off of a 1.8 turbo, so we're using the wires to extend some of the loom there, but this is that reverse sensor switch that we need. So I've managed to locate it to there. So that is pin 3 and pin 10 on the orange connector. That is missing on the orange connector off of that loom. I hope you're all still following. So I've ordered a de-pinning tool so we can take them pins out and connect them up onto this orange plug here, and they go into there because obviously originally this had a manual gearbox, so it's got the feed, the wires from that orange female plug there that runs down to go to where it needs to go. Right, what we're going to do next, I'll just show you in here what I've done. I've pulled all the wires from the engine bay. I took the heater section out just to make a little bit more access, so eventually that will get welded up along with that. There's a lot of wire in there. It does look like a headache waiting to happen. So if we come around here, that's going to get welded up, and there's another hole there. You can't really see it. There's another hole that needs to get welded up. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to drill a hole there, and the wires that come out into the engine bay are then going to come out here, so I can use this to run any wires across that need to go down that side, and I can run them along here. There's also option for me to make that a little bit bigger. What we can do is feed the wires through this chassis rail and then bring them out into there. Also, when I start welding, I'm going to weld a plate in there. Obviously I'm going to replate the whole thing, because as you can see, that's seen better days there. So you won't be able to see that gap there. And then the same will be done here. You'll see I've marked out, see that there, marked out where my plate's going to go. Before we do any more engine bay work, we're going to need to take this out. So what I'm doing is I'm doing as much extending of wiring as I possibly can while the engine's in position. Now on this side here we have the charcoal canister. It's a vent to the tank. We're obviously not going to have the charcoal canister in here anymore, so what we're going to do is run a return from the fuel tank and then vent it to air underneath. So what we can do, if I can get to it, what we can do, expose that, and then we can just sort of blank them off. I think I might do that next. Yeah, let's get that done. So this here is the connector for the starter motor off of the DSG gearbox, but it's actually the wrong connector that for what we need. We've got a manual 2.8 V6 gearbox that we're going to be running on this car. So what I've done, obviously I had the correct connector there. I come off of an old loom that I've got sitting over there. So what we've done is we've cut that off. What we've done, we've then solder shrink wrapped the new connector, which is there. That then runs underneath, and it's going to be situated just there. What I'm going to do now is put some electrical tape around that, and then that's done. Right, so what I'm doing is I'm just marking down exactly what I'm doing. This wire goes to the charcoal canister, so we've cut that, and the wires for that, we're just going to blank them off. It's that one there, and then there's a live that goes to the charcoal canister and then runs along to pick up the secondary air pump. And we're going to be getting rid of that, deleting all of that. This is all the wiring that we've managed to cut out, so we're getting rid of a lot of wires there. So all I need to do is solder the ends of these 3 wires to blank them off, and to solder that one. So I'm going to get that done. Once that's done, I'll come back in. Right, so that's now done. All them wires are just taped together. What I'll do, when I tape the loom up, they'll just sort of be taped in. You won't see them. And the, where is it? White plug. Does it come off the white plug? No, it is this plug here. So yeah, got it in the end. So as you can see, what I've done is soldered the end of that, heat shrink wrapped the exposed wire, and then folded it over and put some electrical tape over that. So that's now done. What's come is the de-pinning tools, so I can now remove the rear reverse switch from the orange plug. So I'm going to have a go at that, and I can get that put into the orange plug on the car, and then that loom is pretty much done. So there we have it. The reverse switch is now in place for the manual gearbox. Runs along here. It's going to come through that hole that we looked at earlier. It's going to run along there and down. I'm probably going to have to extend it because I don't know if it's going to be long enough. We will see. Guys, I'm going to leave the video there for today. Also, let me know what you think in regards to these sort of videos. If you are interested in following the journey on the MK4 Golf, don't forget to leave the thumbs up, so I know that you guys are liking these sort of videos. If you're new as well, do consider to subscribe to the channel, because we've got, as you can see, a lot going on. Now at the start of the video you would have seen that we have sold the Mini Cooper now. So we are on the lookout for our next project. The auction's obviously going to be running this week, so I'm going to keep a close eye out, shortlist a few cars, see what we can come back with. Fingers crossed we get another project on the channel. But yeah, that's all for today. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. If you have and you want to see more, let me know in the comments or leave the thumbs up. Again, if you're new, do consider to subscribe to the channel. But for today, that's a wrap. Take it easy, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.